Hello there folks, I'm Dan Brown from asortofinterestinglife.com, and today I'm going to try a slightly different type of video where I tell you all about how Narrowboat Life doesn't quite always go to plan. And this is demonstrated perfectly with a little story of a couple of nights ago when I was intending to film today's video, which was going to be about the amazing scenery that you can moor up right next to and have about 2 miles of boating footage and the usual sort of, yeah, look at this boat life, it's all great and we're out here in this perfect countryside, that sort of video. But don't worry, we've got plenty of that footage and plenty of scenery to show you. Just the tone of the video is slightly comical and more illustrative of how boat life isn't always perfect at all. The story starts with me arriving after about a 12-mile bike ride from my friend's house. It's not the easiest bike ride in the world, so I intended to just get on board, move the boat, and then I could rest for the evening. So I have a little bit of footage and the incredible Blakemere here, and everything's as good as you would expect it. Put the camera up on the front of the boat and more, and then off we go on this wonderful little adventure for a few miles. The first few minutes went well. When you're measuring things in minutes, it's not a great indication of how it's going to end. Straight away I meet a holiday boat, and because of the direction that I'm travelling, we have to pass in a certain way. You always pass to the right, which means that I'm going to the outside of the canal, which is not only very shallow in some places, but also has all these overhanging trees. So instantly I very nearly lose the chimney cowl, but luckily it hangs onto the chain and is just hanging down the side of the boat. No major incident. Then as I come around the corner I find there's a few boats moored up. So once again that's no big deal, so just move out to the canal and pass them. As I am doing that, another holiday boat emerges, heading down towards me, and decides to come down as well and see if we can all fit 3 wide down there. Now, there might be enough visible water on the surface to have 3 boats pass, but first of all you've got these trees which really do cut in a huge distance in over the canal. But more importantly, the canal is very shallow at some points on here. So I'm seeing this boat coming towards me and I'm thinking, this isn't going to go well at all. So just keep going, everything's fine, and hope for the best. We instantly lose the camera. As you can see, it gets knocked over, and then a couple of seconds later, it gets dragged all the way down the back of the roof and thrown onto the stern with me. That isn't great, and that's not exactly what I'm hoping for. But because there's all these trees now all completely blocking my view, I can't see exactly where I am in terms of the bank or anything like that. And I'd say the scariest thing that's happened on board for a good time now was when I'm just here, got zero visibility of what's on the canal to my right hand side, and then suddenly I just feel the right hand side of Tilly just lift up in the water. So there's that initial shock of you're just standing there and then suddenly you go whoops, and you do physically have that sort of whoa, I'm proper thrown off balance. Then there's the horror of like, oh no, what on earth is going on, like scraping underneath the boat there? I mean, I couldn't tell you whether it was a stone, whether it was a piece of a tree or just a big old bank of mud that's built up. But it's definitely not the sort of thing that you want. And you can imagine I'm then having that. My heart's like pounding from the shock of it. And I've got that kick of adrenaline where I can feel sort of empty in my chest and I can feel my legs just a little bit shaky. And I'm thinking, oh, this is not what I want going on. Because I've also got this boat coming towards me, which I do manage to avoid because they just get out of the way in time. I certainly haven't got anywhere to go to. I've already scraped along the bottom at one point, and it must be a matter of inches that we miss having a coming together. So then I'm just like, you know what, I'm hungry, I'm really tired, and now my legs are all shaky. I just want to moor up and calm down. So after 8 minutes of travel, I'm already just moored up. Let's have some tea, get some nice tomato soup, mixed herbs as always. The first time that I've had tomato soup for a long time. So I can then be like, yeah, I'm just going to stop here for the night. I've had something to eat, my legs are tired, I'm having a nice calm evening. Go out, do a bit of cleaning up on Tilly, clean the windows, mop the roof, get a little bit carried away and take a little bit more paint off the roof, so that's a lesson learned. Then, you know what, I'm going to get a little bit more editing of me book done, come in, settle down, and that's my night. Get into bed, and while I'm lying in bed I can hear every now and then just a thump on the boat. as illustrated like that. And it's proper loud. And so every 20 minutes, every half an hour, sometimes it's shorter time than both of those, I go out and have a look, and I cannot see what is making this noise. I'm looking around and thinking, can't see any obvious sign of animals, I can't see any sort of debris that's on the boat, or I can't even tell where this is hitting the boat, whether it's on the roof, on the front, on the back. And I'm lying in bed, go back, and it's like, yeah, let's get to sleep. And I think, what on earth is this? And while I'm trying to get to sleep, you can imagine how much that starts to play with your mind. You can hear a very loud bang on the boat every now and then, and you can't get to sleep because you start to concentrate on when's the next one going to happen, and listening out to see if you can figure out what it is and where it is on the boat. Then I do fall asleep, and it's all good. Oh, hang on, is it? Because I am then woken up with another, and remember that this is waking me up from sleep. It's about 2 o'clock, I don't know, sometime after 2 AM, I know that much. And I go out onto the stern and realise to my horror what it has been. And there's no better way to say this, unfortunately, than to say that basically some giant bird droppings have been collecting out on the stern and all over the back part of the boat. And these are falling from a very great height from trees above. That is not what I wanted to see, because first of all, I just cleaned the boat. And secondly, when I then go inside, I'm thinking, this is a proper bad mess that's being made out there. And that is not at all what I want to wake up to in the morning. Because I've already got a 7:45 alarm set, with my intention being that I'm going to get on my bike and do another 12 miles out to my friend's house first thing in the morning. You can then start to put together what I'm thinking at this point. While I'm lying in bed, going, you know what, just let me go to sleep. I'll just deal with it in the morning. But every so often, I know that the situation's getting worse out there. And I start to think, am I going to wake up in the morning to find the boat absolutely covered? And it's going to be a proper horrible nightmare, because it was already a huge mess out there. And I can't see where it's coming from. So high up in the trees is this bird. And that's, I don't wish to be unpleasant about it, but it's definitely a very, very unpleasant mess. Then I'm like, you know what, I've got to do it. I've got to just move the boat. So that has had me lying in bed awake, worrying about it for about half an hour, 45 minutes. I look at the time, it's just gone 3 AM, and I'm like, you know what, just do it. So I get out, but because I'm moored up with chains, or chains on the back at least, those are very difficult to move very quietly, because it's metal on metal and that sort of thing. And there's a fisherman right next to me in his little shelter. There's boats just at the back of me, and I'm thinking, this is not at all a good situation. So I have to be as quiet as I possibly can, and as slow and careful when I'm pulling the chains up through the corrugated metal sides. And it takes me about 25 minutes to move the boat 15 foot. That's something that in normal circumstances would literally be done in 5 minutes, if that. But because it's so quiet and I'm in this sort of haze of sleep and really extremely tired at this point, I'm thinking, what's going on? And there's like Canada geese and a little family of those go past, and the whole thing is so surreal that it's almost as if I'm not there and I'm watching myself do it. But eventually I managed to get it all done, get back inside, and I go to sleep and don't hear another thud on the boat all night. But there's a little postscript to this, because I think, you know what, I'll just have to tell my friend that I'm not going to be there as early as I intended. I delay my alarm by an hour and a half till about 9:15, and I think, yeah, we'll catch up with the sleep, and that'll be that. Not thinking that late on at night that, because it's quite a busy time, it's half-term holidays, there's going to be even more chance of a lot of boats moving really early in the morning. And lo and behold, when I wake up in the morning, there's a boat going past. It's, oh, hang on, what's the time? 5 to 7 AM. So I did manage to catch a few hours sleep, but unfortunately it wasn't quite what I'd intended. And that is just my random story of how I ended up doing a 2-mile boat trip that actually was abandoned after 8 minutes, and then still saw me moving the boat by hand at 3 AM. Completely random story, but I just wanted to share these sorts of moments with you so that I can say, look, I show you all this amazing scenery and everything, but boat life isn't always quite as you plan it. You can't just go, you know what, let's go here today and everything's always going to work out. Thank you very much for listening to that. I hope you've enjoyed the tale of me versus the bird at 3 AM as we go back on board Tilly for the end of this video. I'll say thanks for watching. Check out my other videos and subscribe for a load more Narrowboat Life. All sorts of things such as incidents that you've just heard, as well as amazing scenery like you're witnessing now. Also, feel free, of course, to like the Facebook page. Over 1,000 likes there now. Incredible. Thank you all. And feel free as well to add me personally on Facebook and Twitter. And of course, I couldn't end this video without saying, check out my book, The Narrowboat Lad, available for Amazon Kindle. Until the next time, have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you around soon. Farewell.